Hey, what is up, YouTube? This is Brew Station here, and I really, this is a little bit off the beaten path. I was generally at least trying to, wanting to go ahead and, make some more, non-reactions, non-anime episode reaction sort of videos before this year ends. That's something I kind of got planned before winter of next year starts, when it's going to be a lot more interesting. But I have to really, but what happened just the other day, or what I came upon, and this is just a case of me just happening to run into the worst of the worst. So I'm pretty sure, unless if you've been living under a rock, or you've had your eyes, or if you've purposely blindfolded yourself to everything related to anime, One Punch Man is not in a good position anime-wise, and I think you can, if you look up, basically just sum up, Season 3 has just been a mess. Yes, worse than even Season 2. And the debacle around it has just been out of this world. The director deleted his Twitter account. The producer from Bandai is just saying, "Oh, look forward to these particular episodes," and it just sets off more, just opens up more can of worms, because that's just goofy at this point. And if you've seen all the clips circulating around, and that you know what I'm talking about, One Punch Man Season 3 is such a mess. And if you're not, and look at this, just look at this, just look at this right here. This is what started it all. Episode 1 was already stiff in itself, and then episode 2 said something, and then the most recent, then episodes 3 and 4. 3 was actually decent by the already low standards. And then episode 4, they just cut up what was already pre-animated from the teaser trailer and just made it worse. I don't know, they just broke it up. Everything about the directing and the pacing is just awful. It's just is this even an official product? What even is going on? I'll show you this, man. Okay, so, and hopefully, man, it just doesn't, I'm just gonna mute it just in case. Well, actually, never mind. So literally, this, I'm pretty sure everyone's already seen this one.
不具合を生じ強力すぎる力は持ち主に負担がかかり不具合を生じさせるあるいは品性を失った怪人のように暴走を起こすこともあるだから個々の生物は生存目的や理性を失わない範囲内でしか成長できないように神に設計されている
in the actual trailer, which I'll bring up here. It's just a mess. And I'm pretty sure you've seen this already, before, and it's just a repeated deal. But I'll just show you up just to try to catch you up to date here.
強力すぎる力は持ち主に負担がかかり不具合を生じさせるあるいは品性を失った怪人のように暴走を起こすこともある
The best thing I was supposed to do. Look at this. Why did they cut this? Why did they cut this? And look what they do here. They just used it here. I don't know why. Are they supposed to be? And also, yeah, they can keep that. Yeah, and then I don't know why. This one is just this is sick. They cut it out. This whole sequence here
生存目的や理性を失わない範囲内でしか成長できないように神に設計されている。それがリミッターだ。
Still frames, terrible coloring. I'm pretty sure y'all seen the Smurf deal with One Punch Man. Like it already says a lot about it. They like to use this sort of blue filter shit. I mean, literally, like what even is this? What the hell? Like I don't know why they want to go with that, but considering it's by Bandai, Bandai is the producer for this. Like I must have Bandai was the same one that was doing Blue Lock, that Blue season, and that season 2 was just terrible. Shinpei Nagai, people are saying he's the hentai director. Of course, he's not the hentai director, but let's take a look here. Okay, I'm not blocking it, so it's good. So here's a list of all the main. So it's actually not out of line to say he's a hentai director, because most of the things where he's hentai, he's usually a main role. Now, when he does actual official anime, it's only for, as you can see, specific episodes. For the most part, like Awkward logos, like Shortboard, and then these individual episodes. Star Online 2, Garo, Hanamasaku. I didn't know that, but damn. And then there was an assistant direction, but that's not much either. That's nothing to really speak of. And like he does have like the few times he is a director, they're not particularly like action anime, like Inugami Neko-sama and like Danaka Nani wo Ikuteru ga Wakaranai Ken. And I butchered that. Sorry. How do you do like that one is obviously not an action anime. And if anything, there's a lot of fan service in this one too. Quite a bit of fan service in this one too, if I remember correctly, for better or worse. I personally found it boring, so I like just average animation, sub-average visual. I don't really care. But yeah, so they're not actually out of line when I think about it to say that he's the hentai director, because that's where he's been he has more proficient or primary roles in terms of its production compared to actual anime TV shows. So it's just one of these amusing deals, but it just goes to show how much of a mess this is. And the amount of PR, the amount of damage control by some of these fans. But then episode 5 comes along, one of the episodes that the producer Chinatsu, what was her name? Chinatsu by the way, Nicholas Light was just hate him, love him all you want. I don't care. I'm glad people like him are being more vocal, even if it doesn't change Bandai's decision. Because that's a deep cultural thing that will not be fixed. But look here, new statement. But this is what I'm talking about. New statement by Chinazumatsu, One Man Puncher's producer. Pay attention to season 3, episode 5. Yeah, maybe she's the one and her co-ops were the one not paying attention. We gotta. Everyone within this production shares a responsibility. JC staff accepted it. Just even when by all means they should just reject it as much as they could. You could say like, oh, but Bandai didn't have anybody else to go to. But Bandai should just call it off until someone has an open window. And so when One Punch Man was opened up, what the fuck were they doing for the last 5 years? I hate that I'm doing this in the morning as during recording to try to just ramble about things, but my main thing will come up to play, because I know this is just kind of just beating a dead horse. Everyone else has kind of been talking about it. I'm pretty sure who's been aware of this. The intent, and as well as episode 33, episode 9. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a lot more action. I think it's I don't remember. I feel like it involves the guys who are Bang, Fubuki, Genos, and that were gathered at Saitama's house, and like they're gonna get involved. I'm pretty sure that was a chapter. I could be wrong, but this season features action scenes that are even more intense and continuous than previous ones. So we began discussing production methods with the studio from the start and carried out various experiments. Do you mean the blue filters? Do you mean the PNGs? Do you mean the Do you mean all these weird sort of directions with where we just have these have this way of just too much talking in between battles. I'm like, okay, dialogue in between battles, it can be regulated well depending on what it is. I'm not gonna say something like Bleach did it flawlessly, but I think it handled it very well. I don't even know, most of the older shonen like usually handle this well. Hunter x Hunter at least has a good way of explaining, of handling that sort of dialogue. The manga's dialogue is just something else, but the fact that like there's a lot more talking than actual moving, which is not something that One Punch Man manga does have dialogue, but back in season 1, it's handled very particularly well because they're talking as they're moving most of the time. There's a lot of things move, like even during non-action scenes during season 1. There's still a good amount of things going on, so it keeps you interested before you get until you get to those action scenes. And so, but now, why am I talking about this? Well, why is this like, oh, it's just, I've already heard this before, and I know like episode 6 is about to start soon as I record, but when I saw this comment, when I got this, when I came upon this, I just really am at a loss for words. So, if for anybody who's familiar with Mao, who might know the rep with this guy, honestly, I did not want to give this guy the light of day in terms of attention, but this was probably this is just beyond the description of everything moronic I've seen or heard of thus far. So I shared the fan animation by Mark Rayner of Garo versus Gyogyo, which was great, by the way. Check it out. Just search it up. It's easy. But this is just next level ignorance. So let me share so I shared the fan animation. I got mixed responses, of course, because it's fucking Mao. But look at this. Look at what he replies here. I agree. Nintendo should hire this man right now. This is sarcasm, obviously. But serious. This guy is just. I hate the fact that he has this ring smirk as his forum profiles, which makes this even more annoying. As much as I love Ring, so it just makes this. It's just more like. It's just more. Like I wish I could ignore this guy, but somehow some way I keep running into him on Mount. I don't know why. I don't know why my dumbass back then had actually been mutual friends at one point, because maybe I thought some of his reviews were kind of fun to read, but like apparently he has some of these just like if you haven't been familiar, he has some of the most the most ridiculous takes I've seen related to anime. And like, you'd have to think like, is he just rage baiting? Is he just trolling? But no, he's actually quite serious. So it's just like, what the fuck is the problem? Like, and the problem is that like, you have to always do this Brandolini sort of process, because to just go through a whole bunch just to prove it wrong, only for him to just refute it when the evidence presented right in front of him, because he's just gonna spout nonsense after nonsense. Because look at this. But seriously, you're making a stupid point. This also looks terrible. It's basically a PowerPoint presentation too. It has some flashy effects if you think it looks good. Anyone getting tricked into thinking this is upgraded, laughable. It's only 40 seconds of animation, not close to 20 minutes per episode. Yeah, 20 minutes. Out of those 20 minutes, how much did shit actually actively moved compared to this? Look, I don't think I need to explain this. I don't think I need to show, I don't think I need to put any more additional words as to the quality of this. Like how do you look at this? How do you look at this? How the fuck do you look at this? How the fuck do you look at this and then you say, this is how the fuck do you look at this and then say this is not better, that is not better than this? How do you say this is better? This is somehow better by that interpretation. How do you say that? How the hell do you how can you say that without sounding like an idiot, without looking like an idiot, without sounding like an idiot? How? Tell me. This, and then there's this. The atmosphere too. This, and then what we got here? And they stretch. And the problem is that they stretch this out too. Like he could be just talking while moving. They could have done that. The anime could do an anime adaptation has to add its own spin to things in order to make it work. It doesn't always need to go one for one. It could do a little spin on things to make it its own sort of presentation, its own product, something worthwhile. The anime does not done it. It's the manga, but somehow worse. Just like take some panels. Hey, how's my fucking animation? What animation? You're just showing me a PowerPoint project. And there's this. And then look at this. Like, come on, man. And you say this is PowerPoint? Sure. Hey, this only took 4 days. 4 days, maybe half a day if you want to add everyone to some polish. That they would make it 4 to 5 days. That's still a short amount of time. And then you're like, I don't want to hear people saying, but this episode they only had breadcrumbs of time to work with. No, they did not. They did not. They said there was a 6 months, complaint, to so to speak. But you think about it and just like, that's still more proportional time than what was done with this one. Okay? And remember what I said, what the fuck were they doing for the previous 5 years after the announcement? No studio, no staff. What was Bandai thinking when they were no, of course. Why am I even questioning that? Bandai was just thinking about money. They're just chipping in, but like they should have either not announced it, or just held it off, knowing that they couldn't find anyone. There are projects that have been shelved, only just picked back up. It's not a problem, because like One Punch Man is a big IP, at least overseas. Apparently Japan doesn't give much of a shit about this, or about the quality of this for some reason, regarding this season. I think it's just like I think it's just more of like indifference. They're not actually watching the show. They're only actually just caring about the physical merchandise. I'm not saying that this is always the case, but this is just kind of so wild to me. But I get, again, this is more the merchandise. One Punch Man has always been on the merchandise, the manga, more of a vouching promotion for the manga, which is still half-assed at best. And there's no, and when Fanimation, even like, yeah, Fanimation doesn't have the kind of polish you see from the official products, but this still has that more polish compared to what they're like. You can disagree with some of the aesthetic choices made, but again, this is within 4 to 5 days compared to what the amount of time they have, and like, but they didn't have time. Like, I'm pretty sure they at least had a month. They had like a month or so for you, and they had more people, and this is one guy. We got this, and what did we get here? A blue, ugly filter. This, and then this. If you say this is better than this, either you need to go to an eye doctor. My dad's one. You can hit him up, by the way. Or please stick to your junk ass rom-com isekais, or whatever the fuck it is you do. Because look what he follows up here again. When I was just commenting on the replies, and this is what he says here. I don't think anyone is disagreeing with that, except for some hardcore fans who decided the animation is not bad. They're delusional. Your point is still bad, though. The fan animation doesn't look any better. How does it not look any better? You can say, oh, it's just PNGs. It is, okay, sure. It's still a lot of moving some PNGs. Of course, anime has by all means, by that definition, all anime, including your favorite fucking show, Unlimited Midworks, sorry, also has PNG moments. Yes, from Foldable. I don't think, and even then, it's probably like very minuscule, because it depends from show to show. But this is just like, I don't even know where to even begin. And here, of course, he follows up with that shit. I'm not surprised you consider a simple comment as aggressive. Yeah, way to out yourself. Seeming you're capable of quoting someone you're discussing with, and decide how to quote a moment without quoting anyone. Why would I want to waste my time quote replying multiple times on forums to idiots like this? I've stopped doing that since. I don't know why I've done, like, apparently that's why I looked at my mouth and say, like, how the fuck did I get like at least a few thousand forum comments? I was just an idiot back then, in my early days on Mal. Remember, I only just made one like back in 2016, and I was already deep into anime well before that. So I don't even know what to say. But then there's also this. This is just besides my fucking understanding, and this just speaks to how much of an issue as to why we're still going to get this is why shit quality, more and more low tier quality, is being encouraged by these higher ups because of attitudes like this. Just people just eating slop and not complaining. But then again, like, this guy is apparently not a One Punch Man fan himself. He's always thought it was bad. So here's what he said. If you ask me, One Punch Man Season 2 and Season 3 don't look that different from an average seasonal anime. What? What is your definition of an average seasonal anime? Don't tell me it's your PNG is your PNG junk rom-com that you like, okay? But people make fun of them just because of how great Season 1 2 looks like. It's called expectations, you fucking moron. And because this series is extremely popular. I think the downgrade is obvious just by looking at this too. It's going to master JC Staff will impact any series when it comes to quality. I've always seen One Punch Man as a series that is carried by the animation. So seeing all these complaints just prove my point. Okay, it has a point. He has a point with that. But I don't even know. But like, One Punch Man is an action anime. Of course it's going to be carried by animation. Of course Demon Slayer is going to be carried by animation. Of course Soul Leveling is going to be carried by animation. What else would it be? As much as I had my complaints about, like, that's the appeal for it, that's the point. Now, do those other examples I see need that sort of pristine, sort of high praise quality? Do they deserve it? Personally, I don't think so. But at least they should deserve something of decent, something that people will still be like, go nice and all that, you know. Of course, this thread is about how someone made a fan image that people say looks better than we got in the end, but this video is also dog crap and doesn't look better in the series. Who the OP is makes it even fun. He's referring to me, by the way. I don't know. Again, I don't know why I somehow still keep running into this guy. And I'm not gonna. And this is another issue. Of course, he hates Curious Horiko. And then, like, they don't have a symmetry at Hyoko or completely different things like Tantra and Mushoku Tensei. I hate that this guy. If you don't know what this, like, if you don't know who this guy is, he thinks Rent a Girlfriend is peak, apparently, but thinks actual quality shows like Fragrant Flower and Makian are garbage. Yes, I'm dead ass serious. I don't even know where. Like, I get tastes and all, but this one is just the reasonings for it, you're just like, okay, what are you even on, man? And again, like, I've read some of his reviews for the stuff that the ones that are good are like, of course it's obvious, like a certain manga and a certain manga ending for one of the most popular series ever, which I'm pretty sure which I'm not going to mention by name, but I'm pretty sure you can just kind of take a good guess as to what it is. But I do not want flack for it because it's that sort of series with that sort of fandom, and I don't want to get tangled up with it. Now, Rent a Girlfriend, he has no defense for this. Everything he says by that point, it's over. The argument is over once he tries to make a defense for it. He even claims Chizu is not a Marisu, but somehow Mao from Cruise and Horigo is. The problem is, I read his review on it, and his explanation is the most Occam's razor thing ever. With Occam's razor, I don't know how I came upon that sort of term, but apparently it's just like, make it a claim based on the most minimal evidence, based on very minimal evidence. Even if the evidence makes some sense, it's just off the bat. And then he'll claim that, oh, he's read the material, but I've looked at his shit and, like, no, he's only heard it from his peers, which I'm pretty sure presented that source in a negative light, because of course they're gonna line up with his fucking thoughts here. I really don't want to get. I was not really thinking about giving this guy any sort of highlight or any attention here, and honestly, I would not be surprised if we try to come up to this this video and try to object to this and try to brigade his own comment with it. I've encountered these sort of people. They're just fucking idiots. They don't respect. They have no sense of respect with others' opinions. And this is not just him. This is the issue with people like this scattered throughout the anime community. How do you say this? How do you say this? The quality of stuff like this, like look, like just for example, or no, just like let's go a little low. Let's go a little low. All right, let's tone things down a bit with a smaller one. So. Okay, no, not this one. Not this one. I think I need to find a good one. A good average one, if anything. Or this one here. This Saitama just a mosquito, right? Oh, look here. And you're saying, oh, this is not moving much. Yeah, I'm using the lowest examples, and it still feels like there's shit going on. All right. This is the lower qualities, and it still looks like there's still more so put into this one. Look at this. I'm using the lowest one. I'm not even using the big fights here. But I'm pretty sure you can just get where I'm going with this. Like, come on. And let's see if I can bring up another example. Not this one. Not this one. I don't know why. Here.
なんか先人センチの手あった気分だ高エネルギー反応ありターゲット何見えない邪魔だ大丈夫あり何見えない邪魔だお前にいくつか聞きたいことがある手も足も出もめんいい度胸だ
Did I make my case here? Also here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll add this one. This Tank Top versus Yara. Let's see, look here. And this is the Blu-ray, but it's still, you know, it's because it's just without the ghosting shit, which was annoying. Like that one, I don't know why. But here.
てめえら皆殺し消えてなくなれだと思ったよここで消えてなくなれおっと使っちまったかジジイの顔がちらつくから使用は避けたかったけどまあいっか実力を隠しておやおや S 級ヒーロー様が
I don't know why, you know, they pause shit like that. But, you know, I don't know about this internet, man. This internet is just something else. I'm sorry. But like you get my drift. this is like, how can you say that? How can you say season 3 is of the same quality? There's no, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, here's this part right here. Okay, it's not this one. Okay, all right, but it's not here. I'm not gonna show the Genesis one, but I just want to make a point. Right here. Like, yeah, how it's so much better. Like, yeah, season 2 has a lot of problems, but at least it still shows out whenever it does get to those action scenes. Like, of course, yeah, it's gonna be rough, but at least shit is moving at that point. And at least, like, I could see where season 2, they were trying to go with something with the aesthetics, even though they fucking kind of missed, like with Genos' CGI arms. But at this point, we might as well have that back, because Genos look like we have shots where Genos looks like he's fucking hungry. So I don't even know how this is somehow better. How this is somehow better than this. Even the technically better portion, the better portion of it so far. Yeah, like I can see this one is getting not over, but you know, I'm not gonna mention Baldaki because he's one of those younger animators who like was hyping this up only to just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know my cut was gonna get butchered. Like, this isn't outside of the world for me. It's very dumb. Like the ambition is very much there, decent enough, but it was butchered. Like, even he didn't know what the fuck was going on. But I hope I get my point across. To have these sort of look at this here, 4.48 season 1. 7.53, yes, it's a drop. It's a bit of a drop. It's almost a whole full point drop off, but still decent enough. Season 3, at the highest right now, it's gonna be only like a 6 point. And it's the way it is right now. How do you think it's gonna get actually above 6.00? There's no way. There's no way unless you fucking vote brigade, which Mal apparently has a safety measure against now, as flawed as it is. How do you can't? There's no way you can defend this. There's no way you can say, oh, it's not as there's no distinct difference in quality, but with the previous episodes. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the issue. This is the debacle that is going on with One Punch Man right now. Not just the defenders, but somehow even the deflectors who just never gave a shit to begin with. Are you kidding me? And because like that, slop like this is gonna continue. Because apparently, from what I've heard, this is just a part 1. There is a part 2, from what I heard. Now it could be unreliable sources. I haven't been able to pull up the tweet. I don't know. It just disappeared. But there's apparently going to be a part 2, and holy crap! Considering the kind of debacle, the lack of any sort of care whatsoever from Bandai Namco Filmworks, this is going to look worse. The manga readers. Even the most dedicated defenders and glazers are giving up. It says a lot. Just read the manga. The manga is its own anime at this point with how Murata's art is. Fuck you if you say Murata's art is bad. But yeah, I'm done here. Ryu Station signing off. See you next time. Take care. Stay safe and have a great day. Peace.